What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you can call me Vinny, and today we are going to take a look at the Haslab Marvel Legends Sentinel. The figure was revealed as a big backing project. It's sort of like Hasbro's version of Kickstarter. However, the price was not nice. $350. And that's before tax and shipping. We had to wait a whole year for this figure after he received his full funding. Was the wait at all worth it? Well, not a lot of Marvel Legends collectors watch my videos, so maybe the comment section won't be an absolute mess, but I've been wrong before. Okay, yeah, if you can't tell from the tone I'm giving off, I'm not going easy on this figure at all. A figure of this price and so much hype behind it has borderline unacceptable problems. Want to know what they are? Keep watching. Well, let's start positive. The figure looks stunning. Absolutely incredible detail. Nothing was skipped out with the sculpt. Face sculpt, brilliant. The wire details within some of the joints, beautiful. Even some paintwork was added on the wires. Most notable next to the crotch region that connects to the legs. It looks great. Lots of panel line details all over this big guy. The paint is a metallic paint job for both the blue and purple. However, the dark blue can sometimes wash out the sculpted details. It's not a big deal, but something you may notice when he's on the shelf. He would have benefited from having the lighter blue that he had on the prototype. The wires themselves did not get the short end of the stick. They have plenty of details to help him pop. The articulation meshes well with the figure thanks to his overall robotic design already. So for the most part, he does look seamless. The figure has a bunch of small bolt details as well. Vent details, rigid details, the works. Gotta give credit where credit is due. The detail is just amazing. The best part of the figure, fantastic. For $350, the level of detail is immaculate. My favorite details are definitely the panel line details. Gives them that robotic aesthetic, and the smallest details like the colored wires really helps them pop. So sculpt and paint gets a pass.
Unfortunately, this figure does not allow me to capture articulation from a far distance, so I am going to have to do it close up on each and every single body part, so you're going to have to bear with me on this one. Head is on just a gigantic ball joint, so we can move left and right, up and down. Can't really look up or down, but hey, it's still there. The neck, you can see right there, can rotate in order to still line up the LEDs through the eyes. That way they can still light up without one eye being darker than the other. It's a little bit hard to do since the neck is pretty stiff. So, yeah. Shoulder is on a swivel hinge. He can rotate pretty much a full 360, though I don't recommend doing it. Shoulders can hinge upward, almost at 90 degrees. Almost. Biceps can swivel as well. Yeah. Shoulder pads do not get in the way because they are not hard plastic. They are actually soft, squishy plastic. Moving on down. Elbows, they're on a double hinge. Although it can only move pretty much 90 degrees, so yeah. I mean, given his bulky design, I guess I really cannot complain too much. And also, you're going to notice a theme here. I want you to pay attention to this, because this is a hint for later. Pay attention to those sounds the elbow joints made, and I will explain the problem with his articulation later. Hand movement is self-explanatory. First of all, we have a wrist pad here that moves up and down to allow more hand movement, so I can appreciate that. Swivel hinge for the hands. Good. Thumb movement right here. Swivel as well. Pretty much each and every single finger has movement. Every single one. Yep. Pretty cool. I was actually surprised to see that we got finger movement, because it's not every day you see it on any Marvel Legend. So, alright. So, you know what? I actually appreciate that. There is an ab crunch, but it does not really do much of anything. Crunch forward, just one notch. That's all you are getting. And to get crunched backward, couple notches. That's all you're getting. Backward movement, definitely better than forward movement, but still. Could have had a bit more with the forward movement. And also, I swear this top part is on a diaphragm joint, but it is not moving at all, and I don't want to break it for obvious reasons. Oh boy, the legs. The eyes can swivel. Let's just get that out of the way now. Legs can kick forward. The crotch is also soft plastic as well. Just almost, holy shit. Just around 90 degrees. I can appreciate that. And right now I have no idea if this is still in frame or not. Okay, yeah it is. And I'm not going to show it with both legs, but your Sentinel can Jean-Claude Van Damme it. Just in case anybody was curious. You're skipping a limb, Vinny. Why are you skipping a limb? Hold on. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Ankles can hinge forward. I think they're hinged to forward at the maximum, but they can hinge. Oh my god. They can hinge backward. They're hard to move. Like, really hard to move. Can I at least show off the ankle rocker without this thing calling me a filthy liar? Yes, I can. Well, just barely. It's not an ankle rocker, but, you know, there's not much ankle rocker movement, so don't even think about getting him into a kung fu stance. But trust me, there is an ankle hinge. Maybe I can... Well, saw right there. Just... Ankles have a hinge. They can move forward and back. I just cannot shut it off without breaking anything. Well, you saw what happened. Knee joint here and here. Double hinged. Look, pretty good range, right? Now that one's fine for now, anyway. But this one. And it made a filthy liar out of me. That's great. How about if I pose it like this? Oh, yep, see? You can see it. It's drooping ever so slightly. Oh, I know. The whole leg drooped. Wonderful. They droop. People have had reports of them drooping and almost having their sentinels fall over and breaking. So some of them did break. So, what's the problem here? Remember the hint I gave you with the elbow articulation? You heard some clicking noises on the forearm joint, but you did not hear any sort of noise with the upper arm joint. For some reason, Hasbro relied on some friction instead of using ratchets for all the joints. Because some of these joints are not even plastic. What are they? If I end up breaking this figure mid-review, I do not want to hear a single one of you guys and gals tell me I do not do anything for you guys. We have our problem. Screws. Screws. Not plastic, not ratcheting joints. You know, the screws, if you needed it to put it together, fine. But using it for your articulation is stupid. It is stupid. Just... You can tighten it to get the legs to stop drooping, but that only works for so long since, you know, friction on a heavy weighted figure like this does not last forever. Ratchets don't last forever either, but the ratchets still have longevity. This has no longevity. Like 7 months, give or take. Maybe that's being too harsh. A year, 2 years from now. Everyone's Sentinels is going to be falling apart because of the lack of ratchets because it's solely relying on friction of the plastic, and even then, friction on metal, which is worse because screws kind of do not last that long under so much weight opposing your Sentinel. It's clear that this Sentinel was not meant to be posed that much at all at the bottom leg area. Hell, maybe not even anywhere. This is just Hasbro. You should have, instead of this, if you needed to build the figure, keep it steady, again, fine, but it needed more to withstand the heaviness that is the Sentinel. It needed something to keep it. $350, guys. $350. Or if you're like me, that had to pay tax, it was $370. This is bad. I'm not even joking. Like, sure, this Sentinel poses well. It has plenty of articulation to get it into some pretty cool poses, but that's not gonna matter once the figure over time starts drooping and falling the hell apart. That's not cool, Hasbro. I got nothing. I'm doing this on camera again, not really with the microphone script, but because I want to show off the gimmick properly. There's a light up gimmick. I'm going to show that off before I move on to the other accessories. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. And it changes colors as well. So, I like that. That's pretty cool. You can't see it because the camera hates it, but this is yellow, not white. Hold it down for a while. It will blink orange, blink a whitish purple, and then move on to red. So, okay, that's cool. And after a while, when you hold it down to change it to red, the red will actually shift into purple and I think green, although it could be randomized because I'm not sure. It takes 2 AAA batteries. Press it again to get a different color. In this case, right now, it's turning green. You can't really see it because, again, actually, you can see it a little bit properly. So, yeah, okay, I like that. I'm a sucker for light-up features, and I think the light-up feature on this figure works really well. And after a while, do not worry, the figure itself will shut off just after a bit. Just give it a couple seconds. Yep, see, there you go. So light-up feature, I think that works well. I have no issue with that whatsoever. And you know what, for the sake of making things easier, I think I'll also go over the accessories on camera. We have 3 alternate heads, thanks to everybody, the amount of people unlocking the tiers. The tier, I'm going to be doing the tier unlocks in order, screw it. We have the Master Mold head, which is a beautiful head. This is an excellent head sculpt. Just like the Sentinel itself, the sculpt and paint, it's good. It's a really good head sculpt. The next of these heads is the Sentinel head, and it's self-explanatory. 3 faces. Silver, gold with some blasters at the mouth, and another gold face with a bit of sculpt at the mouth area. Pretty cool. Next up is a battle-damaged head for the Sentinel, and again, it looks good. The paintwork is good. I love the battle damage effects it has, and also another cool effect is that the lights light up through this eye, but not this one. So I like that. You might be wondering, how do the heads interchange? Simple. It's via ball joint. Because I haven't really used the head that much, I'll switch it into the Master Mold head. And don't worry, no matter the head you switch on, the light up feature still works. And the Master Mold head, believe it or not, is actually the biggest head out of all these. Figured somebody out there wanted to know. Next up, we have an alternate battle damaged hand that goes along with the battle damaged head. That's cool. The hinge still works. I love the crackling details, although I wish there was a bit more rubble paint on this. Maybe some brown dry brushing would have done nicely. Then again, it would have looked inconsistent with the figure, so never mind what I just said. The fingers do not move. The fingers do not move. I don't know why. You know, the sculpt is there. I don't know why they didn't add finger movement on these still. Just seems kind of odd to me. I don't know. It's weird. And, you know, understanding the hands. So, self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory. If you own other Marvel Legends, you know exactly how to change it. Anyway, it's the right hand, so... There you go. But, alternatively, if you love doing toy photography, like I do, you can have the battle damaged accessories as set pieces to make it look like another Sentinel was destroyed. I think that's pretty cool. It definitely adds some display factor, just in case you want to make use out of these heads when they're not on the Sentinel. So, bravo. They serve a double purpose. You may have noticed a pinhole for in both of the hands, not the battle damage one, just the complete ones, because he comes with a tentacle, an 18-inch bendy wire tentacle, which, you know, it looks basic. That's fine. It doesn't need to look extravagant. Now, like I said, the tentacle is on a bendy wire, so it can bend into any shape. And it pegs into the hand. But wait, this tentacle should be used for capturing mutants, yeah? Yeah, that's right. I didn't bring down any of my other Marvel Legends figures yet at the time of this recording, so we're going to use Bastion. So, wrap it around him. And yes, no matter how heavy the figure is, the weight is secure. For the most part. And peg in the tentacle into the wrist. Hand. Sorry. There we go. There we go. That looks cool, right? Well, it would be. Well, I mean, it would be. If the freaking hand was not being dragged down by the weight of the freaking figure. Thankfully, the tentacle has enough sturdiness to where the weight of the figure does not bring down the bend. But, you know, use it with caution. You don't want to break the bendy wire. Still, it still is one of my favorite accessories. So, I am glad the Hasbro included it.
These two were a part of the tier unlocks, Bastion and Prime Sentinel Female. So while they count as accessories, they're still technically their own figures, and I will review them proper. Bastion looks pretty cool. A nice little bonus that I wasn't expecting much with, and I was sort of right, but he's still pretty nice. I love his head sculpt. By far the best part of this figure. I love it. The coloring and detail, flawless. The paintwork, whatever he has anyway, is decent. Metallic purple or magenta, whatever. Silver, red, gold, which is not perfect. One of the gold slots on his side is kind of sloppy. And finally, black. Well, the black are just molded pieces, so he really doesn't have any paintwork besides what I just mentioned. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a new Marvel Legends mold too. I know for a fact I could absolutely be wrong. But either way, it's a nice mold for him. Unfortunately, he does have quite a number of flash marks, most notable on the elbow parts of him. Seems like he was a bit rushed. Granted, it could only be on mine, but who knows. I also noticed he has some of those bunging tights details, which is cool. The muscular details are also visible despite those. Bastion looks pretty okay. No real issues with him.
Bastion's articulation is pretty much standard for a Marvel Legend, so I'm going to go over it relatively quickly, because there's nothing really too special about it. Head is on a ball hinge. You can look this high up. Can't really look down too far because of the beard, and you don't want to break that, so do keep that in mind. He can rotate. Ab has one notch forward with the ab crunch. Has one notch back, so both backward or forward is decent. Arms can rotate 360. Horizontally, they can move just about 90 degrees. Biceps can swivel. Double hinged elbows, more than 90 degrees. Ball hinges on the wrists. It's always nice. Waist can swivel. Legs can kick forward about this much, can kick backward, not too much. He cannot do the splits. Thigh swivel. Double hinge knees, which is okay. Boot swivel. And ankle hinge, can hinge this far back, this far forward, and we do have a solid ankle rocker. So Bastion's articulation is pretty good. Oh, but wait, he's not just Bastion, is he? We also come with a Sentinel Prime male head, or Prime Sentinel male head, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't just get an extra figure for that head, because it seems kind of cheap on Hasbro's part, but whatever, I guess. And yeah, that looks pretty cool for him to go along with the Sentinel Prime female. Not bad.
Moving on to Prime Sentinel female, she looks pretty okay too. Sure, the build should have arguably been a more busty build, but in some shots in the comics, she did have a build similar to this, so there's no reason to get your panties in a twist. Her face sculpt is good, no issues, although the paint on the eyes is a little bit sloppy. And her hair is a nice flowy, wavy sculpt. On camera, it appears more of a bone yellowish color, but trust me, in person, it's more of a lighter color than this. Her wire details on her neck are pretty nice too. And she doesn't have much paint, it's mostly black, and again, like Bastion, she has flash marks on some of her parts, which isn't as bad as Bastion, but still noticeable. Other than that, her detail is solid like Bastion.
Same thing pretty much goes for female Sentinel Prime. Pretty much standard articulation for female Marvel Legend, so let's get into it. Head is on a ball hinge, can look this high up and this far down. Her hair does not really block anything, so you pretty much have free range, unlike most female figures with longer hair. Diaphragm joint, cannot really crunch forward that much. Backward, it's a little bit better, and can also lean. Arms can rotate a full 360, they're on a swivel hinge, and she can move way more than 90 degrees. Single hinge elbows, but it's the ones where it moves more than 90 degrees, so that's fine. Bicep swivel is in the elbow. Her legs can kick forward just about this much, around 90 degrees. Cannot really kick backward that much. And in terms of splits, she can almost do the splits. Thighs can swivel. Double hinge knees. And of course, swivel hinge for the ankles, can move this far back, this far forward, and some solid ankle rocker. So, Prime Sentinel female's articulation, just like Bastion, is decent. Although, kind of awkward with the gripping hands. They should have been fists. So, you gotta get creative if you want to put her in some attacking poses. Other than that, it's a standard female articulation for Marvel Legends.
Okay, sizing. Sentinel is in scale with his X-Men, being a whopping 26 inches tall. That's a little over 2 feet. So here is Sentinel, Bastion, and Sentinel female, with most of the classic X-Men I happen to own. Oh yeah, he's gigantic. And no, I was not going to take multiple pictures with multiple figures. May as well fit them all in. So, if you have him, I hope you have enough shelf space to place this behemoth. Oh boy, this is tough, recommending him or not. Well, he was essentially a made-to-order figure, so if you did not back him, you're at the mercy of the aftermarket, which will you harder with no courtesy licks. Look at these! Bastion and Sentinel female alone can be $180. That's ridiculous. Sentinel is $800, sometimes even more. Do you have any idea how much more figures or even video games you can get with that kind of money to just throw away? Let's put things into perspective. You can buy a Figuarts Dragon Ball lot for around the same price, if not a little more, and at MSRP you can buy a PlayStation 5 with a few games. Same for the Xbox Series X. The Sentinel has a lot of unnecessary problems, and people think he's worth that much? I don't think so. So think twice before spending that much on this figure. It's not at all worth these giant price tags, in my opinion. And with how much articulation issues this thing has, and with how coy Hasbro is about it, I am very, very, very worried about Galactus. And back up a bit. Hasbro didn't ship out the Sentinel until after Galactus' funding was complete. They knew collectors would think twice about backing Galactus when everyone saw how bad some of the knees and articulation issues were. This figure is essentially a giant statue, not meant to be posed often. So play with this figure with caution. The last thing you want is to break this, or for friction to no longer be helpful. Do I enjoy the figure? I do. I enjoy him a lot. For me, he's a dream come true and I love him. But I can't be biased here. I have to tell you guys and gals what you're getting into, and I'm posting this so Hasbro can learn what to fix with future Haslab projects, if they even listen or watch this anyway. That being said, Sentinel gets a 6 out of 10. Yeah, he looks pretty, but they advertised him to be posable, and you're not even able to pose him that much without it giving in to its own weight. Oh, and the screws on the knees are not a permanent fix. also should have gotten a third figure for the Sentinel male head, not shared with Bastion. What I'm saying is, approach this figure with extreme caution.